welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are chatting all about my favorite brushes. I have been wanting to do this video for so long. I don't even think I've ever done one on my channel. If I have, it was a long time ago, but we are doing my favorite brushes. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys all the brushes that I love to use. These are hands down my absolute favorites. I haven't included any that I like. These are brushes that I have to have and that I use every single day. So really quickly before we get started with this video, just make sure you guys subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any future videos. I post on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And also we have our giveaway going on right now. This is gonna be your last week to enter, so if you guys wanna go ahead and enter, I will link it down below. And let's get started chatting about my favorite brushes. Go ahead and start with my face, and then I'll just kind of go through in the order that I would typically do my makeup. So for foundation, I typically use a beauty sponge, a beauty blender, or I really like this sponge from MORPHE. I've talked about it here before. It is their, I can never remember what it's called, but I'm pretty sure it's called their contour sponge. But this is a really good sponge. And then also just typical beauty blenders. I love using these to apply my foundation. My favorite one is actually the yellow one. I think this was part of like their spring fling collection, I believe, but that one is my absolute favorite. I don't know, there's something about it. I just feel like it's so much softer than the pink one. I don't know. So I have two other brushes that I will use for different foundations that I don't like to apply with my beauty sponge. So I use this one from IT Cosmetics, and this is, I believe this is called the Complexion Perfection brush. This does such a good job with putting on foundations, really any foundations. It just is really, really soft, and it just really does a great job of buffing it into the skin. I also like that it has the smaller side as well that you can kind of do your concealer with. And it's just a really, really great brush that is a bit pricey, but I definitely think it's worth it. It works really, really well. Only other way I apply a foundation is with an oval brush. So if I'm being honest, I really like this one from ARTIS. This is part of their craft collection, and it is the Oval 7. I actually don't have another Oval 7, so I'm not sure if in the Elite collection or in another collection that this is the same type of feeling, but this is my absolute favorite for oval brushes to apply foundation. I'm not a huge person who does that a lot, but when I do, this is so handy and it makes it so fast. So when I'm in a hurry, I'll just sweep this right over my face and it applies your foundation literally so flawlessly. It's crazy. And this one from Royal and Land Nickel is because it's not as soft as this one and it doesn't apply it as well as this one does, but it still does a really good job, and I still use this one quite often. I have a few different ones of this, but this is their version of the oval brush. So this one is definitely still super soft and it's very inexpensive, so this is a good option too. And I do use this one quite often. It does a really great job of applying your foundation. The next brush I really like from MORPHE, this is the E2, and I use this to apply my face powder. So when I'm going in and applying powder all over my face, I will use this brush. I just like it because it's so large and it's very, very soft. I do like it to apply, sometimes I put bronzer down my neck because sometimes, you know, in that winter time, my foundations won't exactly be matching. So I'll use this to kind of bronze up my neck as well. It's just a very, very large brush, super soft, and I really like it for applying powders. To set my under eyes, this is my absolute favorite brush. So this is from BH Cosmetics, and this is part of their Rose Quartz collection. So this is a set of brushes. I have some other eye brushes from that collection I'm going to talk about, but this is my absolute favorite brush for setting my under eye. It's so soft and it just fits in there perfectly for me. I really like it to kind of set my forehead. I'll use it to set really my whole face, but I really like it for my under eyes just because it is so soft. So this is the number 3 from that Rose Quartz collection. I believe there's 9 brushes that come with it, and it's only $16.99. So if you guys are looking for a brush set, that is the set that I would suggest to you. It also has a really nice bronzer brush, and I'm going to talk about some of the eye brushes from that collection as well that I really like. So if you guys are looking for a brush set, I would definitely recommend that one. I'm going to have all of the brushes I mentioned down in the description box as well, so if you guys want to check out any of the brushes that I mentioned or check out this set, it's going to be listed down below. So I have 3 different brushes I like using for contouring and for bronzing. So the first one is from Morphe, and this is the Y9 brush. I really like using this to contour and also sometimes to bronze. I just feel like it works really well to get right in your cheekbone area. It's super soft, and I just feel like it really does a really good job of blending, and it makes it so easy. It's also pretty light, which I do like because I just feel like it's easier to work everything in, and I just really like using this brush. This next brush is from Sigma, and this is the F40, and this is the large angled contour brush. I use this more for bronzing. I just like it because it fits perfectly right in the area that you want to bronze. It works really well for the forehead. I can even put it on my nose if I want to do a quick nose contour. I really like this brush. I am an affiliate with Sigma, so if you guys want to purchase any of the Sigma brushes I'm going to speak about, there is quite a few that I really like. You can use my code MakeupMolly, and that will save you a percentage at the checkout. I do make a commission from that, so if you guys want to support me as well, you can do that using my code for Sigma. The next brush I want to talk about is a brush that I think you need in your collection. If you do cream contour, you need this brush. This is the sculpting brush from Real Techniques. I believe this brush is $7, so it's super affordable. And this brush works so well to blend out cream contour. I've been really into cream contour this winter. I've been really into it in the summer actually for a long time now, but this makes it so easy to blend out any cream contour. You just apply it and then you just kind of buff it into your skin. It makes it so easy, and also it's really good for just kind of using regular bronzer as well, and it just works perfect because it fits right there, and it's so soft and it just blends out amazing. I just had my friend get one of these. I'm like, it's gonna change your life. It really will. For blush, this used to be my favorite blush brush. This is from Sigma. It's the F10, and it's the powder blush brush. This used to be my absolute favorite. I would use it all the time until I discovered this brush. This has been my absolute new favorite for blush. This is the Sigma F50, and this is actually a duo fiber brush. The reason I like using this for blush is I just feel like it applies such a light layer. It's very large, so I feel like it's super easy to kind of get in your little apples and really apply your blush really nicely, because I feel like it does apply a small amount of product because it is dual fiber, and so it's really easy to get caught up sometimes and kind of going crazy with blush because you get it on there and it's like, oh no, what do I do now? But what I like about this is that you can definitely build it up, so you can start out very light and just kind of barely dust it on your cheeks, and it's going to do a great job of applying that kind of more natural looking blush. So next we're going to be talking about highlighting brushes. I only have 2 highlighting brushes that I mostly use or that I love. Really, my absolute favorite is just this one. I use this one all the time. So this is from Sigma, and this is the Strobing fan brush, and this is the F42. I love this brush. I used it today. I really like it because you can just get right there on the top of your cheekbones, and it applies so much color. It just gives you really just like a blast of highlight. Like, it is such a good brush, and I like it because it's so small. So this is my absolute favorite. If I am going to choose another one that I really like, this is the Real Techniques. This is actually a setting brush, but I really like using this one to apply my highlight as well. I just feel like it's perfect for getting right in there. It is a little bit more dense, so it definitely packs on a lot more color, but I really like this brush as well as this one is my favorite. So next I'm going to talk about brow brushes. So I have 2 brow brushes that are my absolute favorites, that if I would recommend any brow brush to you in the world, it would be this brush right here. This brush is life-changing. I've talked about it a ton on my channel. This is the E06 from Sigma. Sorry, I don't know why I had to look at it because I know what it's called. This is actually the winged liner brush, but I use this for my brows. I use this with the Ka-Brow from Benefit. I use it with my Dip Brow from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I actually use it with my Benefit powder as well. It is such a good brush. Look at how tiny this brush is. Like, it's so tiny. What I like about it for my brows is it makes it so easy to get those front little strokes right there. Like, it's so easy to achieve a perfect brow with this. I also like using it with the E15 from Sigma. This is the flat definer brush, and it's just so tiny. I really like using this to carve out the brows. I also like using this on my lower lash line as well. So this is a really good brush for that because it's so thin that it makes it really easy to get right under there and apply the color. concealer as well as kind of move around your brows. So these two together is amazing, amazing brow combo. Moving on to the brush that I actually use to set my concealer or my eye base. So whatever I apply to my eyes, I mostly use concealer. I will set some translucent powder on there or just like a regular eyeshadow that matches my skin tone. I will use this brush. This is the E60 from Sigma. I really like it because it is large, so it's really easy to just kind of pack that on real quick, and it doesn't apply too much and it doesn't get patchy or anything like that. So I really like this brush for just quickly setting your lid. Okay, so lastly, I want to talk about my favorite eye brushes. So I have quite a few here. So the set that I was talking about, that rose quartz set, this has some blending brushes in it as well. So I really, really like using these brushes. My favorite one of it actually is the number 7. I use this brush all the time. These two brushes are really good as well. So like I was saying, that set's really good. So I do want to mention these. You can't buy them individually, but this set is really, really good. These are my two favorite brushes to apply my transition shade, or that first shade that I'm going to go in with, sometimes the second shade as well. So the first one is from MAC, and this is the 224. I really like this brush to go in and apply that first color, first transition color. I just feel like it's the perfect size. It's really, really soft, but it's not too soft to where it doesn't apply the color correctly. I feel like it just does a really, really good job. So once again, this is the 224 from MAC. The next brush that I like to use for the same exact thing is the E40 from Sigma. I've been using this brush for a very long time. I think this was the first brush that I ever bought. Sigma was actually the first like expensive brushes that I ever bought. Not that they're expensive, but the first high-end brush company that I ever bought from. And I've had this same brush for years, probably 3 years now, and I really, really like it. So this is the E40, and I use it for that same thing, applying my first transition shade. Next, I want to talk about my blending brushes. So I have 3 different favorites, and honestly, these are all pretty much the same brush. They just work a tiny, tiny bit differently. So the first one is the E25 from Sigma. I've had this one just as long as the E40. This was, I believe, a limited edition gold one, but I really, really like this brush. I use it all the time for blending out my eyeshadows, and I think they are really, really great quality brushes. This next brush here is from Morphe, and this is the M433. Okay. Honestly, I feel like these brushes are very similar, the Sigma one and the Morphe one. I feel like they pretty much do the same thing. I just feel like it does a really good job of blending. Once again, I will say that the Sigma one has a little bit more weight to it, so that does make it apply a tiny bit differently, but they both pretty much do the same thing, as well as this third brush I'm about to tell you guys about. This brush, so this is from Coastal Scents, and this is their blending brush. I think this brush is like $4 or $5, something like that. This is a really, really good blending brush. I will say that this one is super, super light, so that does play a little bit of effect in it, but it is such a good brush, and it's just the same density as these ones right here. Works the same for blending, and I really, really like this brush. There used to be a code for this brush that if you guys signed up like through my link, I think you got $5 off your first purchase, and you could just buy this brush with it. So I think it made it like $1 you're paying for shipping or something like that, or $2 for shipping. I don't know. If I still have the code, I will try and find it for you guys to get this brush for like $2 or something, but it's a really, really good brush. So for my lower lash line, I already told you guys about the E15 from Sigma. This is the flat definer brush I was talking about that I use for my brows as well. I do use this for my lower lash line. I have a couple different ones of these, but I really like the E36 from Morphe. This is a really good brush. I use this for my lower lash line. It's just a pencil brush. It's really inexpensive, and I really like using this pencil brush the best out of all of them. I feel like it's super soft, and it's really, really tiny, which makes it really easy to go in there and blend out your shadows. The next brush is what I like using for packing on shimmers on my lid. So this is the 242 from MAC. I will use this to apply any shimmer to my lid. It works really, really well. You spray this with some Fix Plus, and it just applies any shimmer really, really nicely. And then for winged liner, I'm not super picky about brushes if I am using a gel liner. I typically will use a felt tipped pen when I do my liner, but if I am gonna use a gel liner, I sometimes use this one from Morphe. It is the M443. I just wanted to suggest this for you guys because it does work really well for me with gel liner. It kind of has a little bit of a tip on it, and I kind of like that when I'm doing my gel liner. I just feel like it makes it really easy to kind of get around your eye and stuff. But I don't really use it too often, but I did want to throw that in there in case you guys were looking for a new eyeliner brush. This is really inexpensive as well. Last brush I want to tell you guys about is one of my absolute favorite brushes. This is from MAC, and this is the 228. I really like this for applying my inner corner highlight. It is so tiny and small, and it just makes it perfect when you're going in there with your pop of shimmer to just pop it right there in the inner corner. I also really like this for applying a all over lid shade as well. I know it's nice and small, but this picks up shimmer so well and with no fallout, which I really like. So I can go in with a bright blue, bright green and pack it on with this brush and know that it's not gonna fall out on my face. It just really grabs the product and applies it really well, and I love this brush for that reason. All right guys, that's gonna do it for all of my favorite brushes. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you have any questions about any of the brushes I mentioned, let me know in the comment section down below. I also will have every single brush that I did talk about listed, and I will have them all linked for you as well. So if you guys want to go ahead and click the links, you can do that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe before you go, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.